Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, I wanted to give you a little tip for those people that create maps a little bit like I do, where there's a lot of tiles that allow you to teleport into on another map rather than one or two. And that's not a bad design per se, like that's just a game design choice, which is entirely fine, really. There's no worry or issues with doing this. My most worries or issues is when people actually create about 20 events that interconnect all the maps with each others. And because of that, not only does that consume them a lot of time, but it also creates a lot of lag on their maps. And I've seen that happening on some projects that people have shared with me in order to have my opinion. And so I thought it would be a great idea for me today to actually give you a quick tip on how you can solve that and make life easier on yourself. So let's get started. Alright, so it's really not going to be a long video. It's more like a little concept that you need to understand or grasp. Of course, you're going to need to have checked my game manager video tutorial in order to make your life easier in order to do this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to trigger my game started switch. That's going to trigger it because I'm going to need to have a couple of information that it provides me. Alright, now for this tutorial, what I did is that essentially we have two maps that connect with each other. So we have this map here, which is the left one, and we have this map over here, which is the right. So whenever I touch the left edge, I shall be teleported on that map over here, and and the opposite is true as well. Okay, now in order to prevent myself to create 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 events on this map and 11 on this one, here's how you can proceed when it comes to teleporting with your maps. What I like to do is I like to create a single event that takes care of all my teleporting inside every single direction. So teleport manager is usually what I call them. Gonna be a parallel process. All right. And what it's gonna do essentially is that it's gonna check if the player is not only touching the edge of the map, but also if the direction of the arrow is correct as well. So in our case, if he's touching the right edge of our map and facing right as well. So if he does, then we're going to teleport him no matter what. But we're also going to be able to teleport him to the right place. So if the arrow-wise position in our case is equal to the value 60, and if the arrow itself is facing right, so I think we have the character player is facing right. And if those two conditions are respected, we're going to teleport the player onto our second map. But we're going to do so with variables instead of doing a preset path like I've shown you inside the basic tutorial. So what we're going to do is we're going to use designation with variables. So here's how it's going to go. So first, going to need more variables because 60 is not good enough anymore. So we're gonna have teleport map ID. We're going to have teleport position X, and we're gonna have teleport position Y. Okay. Now the ID is gonna be teleport map ID, position X, position Y as well. All right. And what we're going to do is before calling this, then we're going to need to set these proper values. So of course, whenever it's going to reach the edge of my map is always going to be teleport on that map. So the ID of the map is going to be hard coded. So that means that we're going to set it to 60, which is the map or the ID of our new map. So set the teleport map ID to 60. Now the logic is pretty simple here. Whenever it's going to be teleported on our map, it's always going to be one of those cases, which means that the X position is always going to be 0 no matter what. And because of that, then what we're going to do is we're going to set the position X to 0. And finally, we have the Y's position. Now, what I like to do for whenever I do those kind of things is that I always make sure that the exact amount of tiles that allows me to teleport onto the new map is the exact same number. This is just like level design at its purest. You should always do that if you're going with that method. Now, in our case over here, because of that, it means that both of my maps have the exact same height, which is super convenient because it means that if I touch this edge over here, which is the position 2, then it means that I'll be teleported right over there, which is also going to be position Y2. And so, because of that, the teleport position Y is always going to be the position of the arrow Y in that instance. Inside that instance, whenever I hit the edge of that map. Alright, which makes sense. So because of that, if I go over here and I want to teleport my player, so if I touch the edge right there, whoa, what's not happening? Whoops, I said arrow Y shall be arrow X equal to, alright, little issue there. Let's go test this one more time. There we go. I'm teleported exactly where on the new map, and that actually made a lot of sense. Now I can also do the exact opposite over here, so I'm gonna do a new teleport manager. If the position X is 0, if it's facing left, whoops, sorry about that. So if it's facing left, the map ID is gonna be 59. The arrow teleport position Y is gonna remain arrows Y as well. Teleport position X is always going to be 16 no matter what, which makes a lot of sense also. So we're done over here. And so because of that, I can now go back and forth between both maps super easily and super quickly without having to create 50 events, which is perfect. Now, there's one more thing that I need to show you also, is that what happens if both of your maps do not kind of match perfectly. What will happen if my map over here was, let's say, 2 cases bigger, and I was to shift like this, and I was to also, let's go with this over here. Let's just fill it like so. All right. Now, what would happen if I did this? Now we have a little problem because the IDs are not exactly going to match anymore because the size of the map do not match perfectly with one another, which means that if I go back over here and I go from the grass over there, then I'm not exactly going to be teleported on the right line. I'm not teleported on the grass, and so on and so forth. So we have a little issue over here, but that can be easily fixed using the same method. Essentially, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to balance the map. So that means that, for instance, if I'm at 0 position Y here, and I need to be teleported on 2 at the position Y, essentially the only thing you need to do is that the teleport position Y, you're gonna have to add the constant 2 to it, and when we teleport from that map over here, then the only thing I'm gonna need is subtract the constant 2 as well, and by doing so it's gonna fix our problem, and we are 100% compatible almost. By almost I mean that yeah, it works fine, but if I do this as such, I'm being teleported on the map, just not inside the playable area, which creates a new bug. Well, essentially it's not really a bug, it's more that this map should teleport you into another brand new map as well, and by doing in order to solve that, essentially you're gonna need to create a new condition where the conditional branch, the variable, if the arrow Y position is bigger or equal to 2, and I'm gonna have a else branch that's gonna teleport the arrow into another entire new map if it is inside like those 2 tiles entirely. Now that's why whenever you go with that method or that approach, try as much as possible to make the maps that you teleport from one another to match with one another in order to prevent you to add additional logic. But as you can see, at least with that method, you don't have to create like 12 events there, 15 there, and another 12 here. You can have a single events that's going to take care of teleporting you on the right maps quite easily, and it's not that long to configure. That's actually a lot quicker to do it this way than to have to manually do it one by one. Alright, so that's already it for today's video on advanced teleporting. Make sure to like, subscribe for more content. If you have any comments or questions, please make sure to leave them below inside the comment section. And as always, I'll see you later for a new video. Bye! Goodbye.